My first day in class, in that primary school, so many years ago when I was 16, there was this inner joy I felt being in that position where I could help a child know something today that they didn't know yesterday. I knew I had to be a teacher. When I set out to teach, I felt there was something wrong with the way we raise students, too much of academic work. And this society actually needs values, not grades. So besides classroom instruction, I decided I was going to promote a values-based education. I wanted students who would show empathy, students who would have a sense of accountability and responsibility and leadership. For me, the idea of living is actually making the world a better place, using whatever tools I have while enjoying what I do. My name is Itodo Samuel Anthony. I am a teacher, and this is why I do it. Passion for me is like what drives you. What gives you the drive you have to achieve the things that give you fulfillment, give you satisfaction in life, essentially. I would say I am passionate about seeing positive change in people, especially in young people. I'm passionate about helping people to become better versions of themselves, to reach their potential, more or less. And I think education is a potent tool to realizing this passion. That is why I take maximum advantage of the fact that I'm a teacher to help young people to dig deep and bring out the best in them. I studied petroleum engineering in school, first degree at Uniport. I also did petroleum engineering at the master's level in Edinburgh. That aside, I think I always knew I was going to be a teacher at some point. So becoming a teacher from university wasn't the plan, to be honest. The plan was to practice engineering for a while, then maybe lecture in the university, and then retire into the classroom, secondary school, to teach. So I knew I was always going to be a teacher because I had this teaching experience when I was 16. I taught in a primary school, in a primary 4 class, because I was looking for a job. Then I didn't even know I had any passion for teaching. But I liked, my first day in class, I liked the experience. I liked the light I saw in the eyes of those kids when they understood concepts in mathematics. So there was this inner joy I felt being in that position where I could help a child understand something, know something today that they didn't know yesterday. So that gave me fulfillment. And for me, that was the point where I knew that at some point I was definitely going to end up in a classroom. So coming down to this place, like I said, it wasn't the original plan to start teaching. When I came back from the UK, the plan was to work in the oil industry for a few years. I had my timeline completely mapped out, maybe 10 years, or less actually, 5 to 10 years, and then teach in a university, having first-hand field experience. I didn't want to be a theoretical lecturer. I didn't fancy the idea at all. So when I came back, I didn't get that oil company job immediately. And I wasn't going to sit at home doing nothing, so I went into a classroom and I've not looked back since then. I absolutely enjoyed the experience, working with young people, mentoring them, molding them into the kind of people that I feel that society should have, because I think our education focuses too much on grades, and I didn't like that idea. So working with young people gave me that opportunity to actually promote the kind of values I would like to see in society. When I set out to teach, like I pointed out earlier, I felt there was something wrong with the way we raise students, too much of academic work. And this society actually needs values, not grades. So I thought the classroom was a perfect opportunity for me to, raise a different breed of young people who wouldn't be driven by the predominant value system in our country, which is basically money. Yeah, everybody just wants to make money. So besides classroom instruction, which I do pretty well, by the way, I decided I was going to promote a values-based education. I wanted students who would show empathy, students who would have a sense of accountability and responsibility and leadership. Frankly, I think the most powerful way of promoting these values is leading by example. So my students see me show, empathy towards them. They see me always reaching out to help people who have some kind of need, educational need, financial need, health need, and then somehow they picked up the bug. So in the last few years, this has manifested in the actions of my students. Many of them are showing empathy. A couple of students have, paid the fees or part of the fees for their fellow students. When we did a project to farm for charity, we called it Farm for Charity project, to farm and raise money to pay the fees of poor children. I had 60 of my students volunteer excitedly on that project. Many of them are carrying out different projects in the community today to reflect the kind of education they are getting. This is the kind of education I envisaged when I came here. And so it's just become a culture in the school for students to, do something to make the environment or the community they find themselves in a better place. So the New Frontiers Youth Forum, I founded it in May 2017. And the idea of the New Frontiers Youth Forum was to raise leaders, young leaders in the community, people who will actually be change agents, local change agents who will be doing positive stuff in the community. This community is a place where the average young person is a cultist. So, so we wanted a different narrative where young people will not aspire to become cultists, but aspire to actually do something positive in the communities. Also wanted to move away from the default setting of leadership in this country, which is more about giving speeches. We wanted people to be actually active, doing stuff in the community. And one of our biggest projects is the Adopt a Kid program, which until a few months ago had 65 children getting full primary education for free, sponsored by my friends on Facebook. So the program is in its second year. So for 2 years, about 60 children or more have had their school fees completely paid. So that was to address the issue of many children being out of school because they cannot afford school fees. So that is probably our longest running program. And then our quiz competition, which is in the second year. So it's basically stuff like this that we do in the community. We just try to make our community, a better place. How did it happen? Well, I was doing something, I guess, in some people's estimation, something exceptional. So I think I let my passion for what I was doing for my job sort of ring true, to reflect outside this locality. Because of the passion I have for my job, I don't know how to shut up about something I'm passionate about. So I have, from day one, I have always made posts about my school and the work I do with the young people in the school. So I think that sort of brought some kind of exposure, sort of took me out of this remote sphere into the public light, Facebook, where I'm pretty active, where several persons saw my work, really. I think everything actually revolved around Facebook. So people saw the work I was doing from Facebook. Several persons began to support the projects I was doing in school. So the word just went around, I think, and then created opportunities for me. Well, there's always an opportunity cost for, I believe, for whatever we do. For one, we all know what a teaching job is like. The pay is pitiable. The working conditions of teachers is not something that we are proud of. So I possibly could be in a place where I'll be earning much more money than what I'm earning in this place. So so for one, I've been teaching here for 6 years, and for how much? The financial reward is something I had to give up. I had opportunities actually to teach in a city, maybe doing something that I wouldn't enjoy for 5 times the pay I get here. So I didn't really fancy it because I felt like I had to absolutely enjoy what I was doing. It had to make absolute meaning to me. So I had to, reach that financial compromise for me. So that was one of the biggest compromises I've had to make to be a teacher. The ultimate goal is actually romantic. The ultimate goal is to, see a generation of young people who will grow up into adults, of course, with a different mindset, a different value set, value system. Because I strongly believe that Nigeria's problem is a value system problem. And if we don't get the value system problem corrected, we will just be treating symptoms. So if you look at what's going on in the country, the corruption and everything, it revolves around a certain mentality of me and myself and my family. And I want to, through the classroom and through the youth forum and through my engagement with young people, promote a mentality of community first. I'm a better person if my community is better. That is what I hope to achieve, but it's a tall ask. It's a tall ask, and I think as a classroom teacher, there's only so much I can do. That is why I'm looking at, that position of power or influence where I can influence a whole lot more. Policies, like some of the things we do in my school, if I could replicate it, if it were in the national education curriculum, for instance, a whole lot more will be achieved, instead of this pocket thing. So I'm looking more at addressing the issue from a policy level, not from an individual level like I've been doing. Doubts? No. Frustration? Yes. So I have never doubted for 1 second. I have never second-guessed for 1 day my decision to be a teacher, because at the core of everything I do is the realization that what I'm doing is noble, bottom line. So that is why there is nothing anyone is going to say to me that would make me think otherwise. I think teachers do a noble job, So that realization alone removes any form of doubt. We all can't be doctors and all that. We all can't make money. Somebody has to teach anyway. So I've not had that doubt, but I've had moments of frustration. Sometimes you're teaching students who don't even want to be there. So you feel like, I could be in some company making 300K, but I'm here making 30K, and for what? Just because I want to achieve this simple objective of making this person a better person, and they are not interested. So that could be frustrating. I still enjoy it because, this is what gives me joy.